Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Triple H has his hands full this week, with The Rock coming back to WWE. His appearance dominated the headlines from Friday Night SmackDown, leading to some big moments going under the radar. One of them featured Kevin Owens crossing the line to antagonize Sami Zayn. The prizefighter showed up outside his former best friend's home in Montreal and recorded an emotional promo. KO even focused the camera on Zayn with his wife and son inside. From a storyline perspective, they had no idea that Owens was outside. This is generally a huge safety concern since the honorary use wasn't aware of what was happening. And while it seems like nothing bad transpired, things could have gone out of control very easily. Following his busy few days, Triple H can take some action against Kevin Owens for what he did. Perhaps he can be suspended from WWE, causing his match against Sami Zayn to be removed from Elimination Chamber. This would be an interesting way to extend their feud until WrestleMania 41 while making the story even more personal. Owens and Zayn could end up facing each other in a Hell in a Cell match. Either way, KO showing up outside Sami's house could lead to some remarkable consequences. It remains to be seen if anything happens, or if Nick Aldis himself will take care of the situation on WWE SmackDown next week. Removing Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn would be a big risk, as it is among the most anticipated matches on the card. With both men being from Canada, it would be a shame for the Toronto crowd if the match got cancelled. That being said, their fellow Canadian Trish Stratus will be in tag team action alongside Tiffany Stratton. Meanwhile, we have two stacked Elimination Chamber matches to look forward to. The women's match will determine Rhea Ripley's opponent at WrestleMania 41, unless Io Sky dethrones Mommy on WWE Raw. Cody Rhodes will face the winner of the men's chamber match. Speaking of the American Nightmare, though, he has been given the opportunity of a lifetime. The Rock has offered to make him the corporate champion, with Rhodes expected to give his answer at Elimination Chamber. While he could level up as the undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes will need to turn his back on the fans to do that. It's a proper dilemma in a world where the lines between fiction and reality blur on a regular basis. The WWE universe constantly finds itself in the midst of shifting allegiances, betrayals, and rivalries. But even in this ever-changing landscape, there are certain rules that can never be crossed. Respect, loyalty, and professionalism have always been pillars of the company, and when one star's actions threaten to erode those values, someone has to step up and remind them why they can't escape the consequences. This brings us to a particular star who has been a fixture on WWE television for the past 15 years. Let's call him Jason Storm. At 40 years old, Storm is a veteran of the squared circle, with a career full of accolades, championships, and rivalries that have kept fans on the edge of their seats for years. He's no stranger to controversy, but lately, his actions have reached a boiling point. The breaking point. It all started innocently enough, or at least that's how it seemed. Storm was caught in a controversial storyline involving another top WWE talent. The storyline played out with tension, heated exchanges, and personal attacks, nothing that hadn't been seen in the wrestling world before. But what Storm did next crossed a line that even the most seasoned veterans knew should never be crossed. In an unscripted moment during a live broadcast, Storm went off script. He began to address personal issues with his on-screen rival, blurring the line between reality and kayfabe, the illusion that what is happening in WWE is real. He made personal, inappropriate comments about another wrestler's family, his private life, and past struggles. This wasn't part of the storyline. It was a deliberate act of disrespect, a shot at someone's personal life that had no place in the wrestling world for the WWE. This was more than just a momentary lapse of judgment. This was a violation of trust between management, the locker room, and the fans. Triple H, as both an on-screen character and backstage executive, knew that this could not stand. There was a code, and Storm had broken it. The fallout. As soon as the cameras stopped rolling, the backstage atmosphere in the WWE locker room became tense. Storm's peers were in shock, and many of the younger stars in the locker room were appalled by his behavior. Some even began to question their place in the company, wondering whether this kind of behavior would now be tolerated. After all, if someone with Storm's stature could get away with this, what message did it send to everyone else? But the true fallout occurred when Triple H got word of what happened. Hunter, a legend in his own right, was known for his strict adherence to the unwritten rules of the business. While he had never been one to shy away from controversy, having created some of the most memorable moments in WWE history, he had always been a staunch defender of respect for the business, the talent, and the fans. Triple H's response was swift and ruthless. Triple H's decision. The next week, WWE announced that Triple H would address the WWE Universe on the matter. Fans, as always, tuned in with bated breath, knowing that whenever Hunter spoke, it was important. In the center of the ring, under the spotlight, Triple H stood before the microphone. His expression was as serious as it had ever been, and the tone in his voice was filled with authority. Jason Storm, Hunter began, "You've been a part of this company for over a decade. You've been a champion, a main eventer, and you've earned your place in this industry. But the one thing you should know is that there's a certain respect that comes with that position. A respect for the company, for the business, and most importantly, for the people around you. That's something you forgot last week when you decided to go off script and attack someone's personal life. You not only disrespected that individual, you disrespected everyone in this locker room and every person who has worked hard to get here. You crossed a line. And there are consequences." The crowd buzzed with anticipation. The fans knew something big was about to happen. Triple H paused before continuing. "So here's what's going to happen. Jason Storm, you've made your choices. You've chosen to go down a path that goes against everything this company stands for, and for that, you're being removed from WWE television indefinitely. Effective immediately, you will no longer appear on any WWE broadcast until further notice. Consider this a lesson, a reminder that no one is above the rules. And no one is untouchable." The audience erupted in a mixture of shock and applause. They were witnessing a moment of true authority, a rare occurrence when someone of Triple H's stature made it clear that even the most established stars weren't immune from punishment. The punishment. In the days that followed, the WWE universe buzzed with rumors. Was Storm truly finished with WWE? Would this be the end of his career, or could there be redemption? The question remained unanswered, but the punishment was already being felt. Backstage, Storm's colleagues and friends had varying reactions. Some of the younger stars respected Triple H's decision, seeing it as a necessary step to uphold the integrity of the business. Others were more sympathetic, feeling that Storm was simply a victim of his own arrogance. For Storm, the punishment was devastating. The 40-year-old star had built his entire identity around his presence on WWE television. Without the limelight, without the adoration of the fans, he was forced to confront the reality of his actions. In private, Storm reached out to Triple H, apologizing for his behavior. He admitted that he had let his ego get the best of him, and that he had crossed a line that could never be undone. Storm begged for a second chance, and though Triple H listened, the decision was clear. "Jason," Triple H told him, "you can make amends, but you'll need to prove that you're truly sorry, not just with words but with actions. Only time will tell if you can come back from this." The possibility of redemption. In the months that followed, Storm's absence from WWE television was a constant reminder to both him and the WWE universe of the consequences of crossing the line. Meanwhile, Triple H and other WWE executives made it clear that Storm would have the opportunity to redeem himself, but only if he could prove that he had learned from his mistakes. Storm spent time away from the spotlight, working on his public image, training harder than ever, and meeting with WWE officials to discuss how he could make amends. He reached out to his peers in the locker room, apologizing to those he had hurt with his actions. Despite all his efforts, the possibility of Storm returning to WWE television remained uncertain. The company had moved on without him, and there were whispers in the locker room that perhaps the veteran had burned his bridge for good. But Triple H remained open to the idea of redemption, something that had always been a part of his philosophy. After all, every wrestler had their moment of reckoning, but it was how they came back from it that truly defined their legacy. Eventually, after months of silence, WWE announced that Storm would return to television, but under one condition. He would have to earn back the respect of the locker room, the fans, and most importantly, Triple H himself. It wouldn't be a simple return. It would be a journey that would require the 40-year-old star to prove that he was ready to be part of WWE again. Conclusion. The story of Triple H punishing a 40-year-old star like Jason Storm is a reflection of the importance of maintaining respect, professionalism, and integrity in the wrestling business. In a company where rivalries often blur the lines between reality and fiction, there are still boundaries that must not be crossed. When a star like Storm crosses that line, it takes someone like Triple H to take swift and decisive action, sending a message that no one is above the rules yet. At the heart of it all, there remains the possibility of redemption. Triple H's willingness to give Storm a chance to prove himself once again speaks to the idea that, in the world of WWE, there is always a path back. But it's a path that must be earned, not given freely. The ultimate question remains: will Storm rise from the ashes of his own mistakes and reclaim his place in WWE, or will he be left in the past, forever marked by his own actions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the story of Jason Storm's fall from grace and the consequences he faced will echo throughout the history of WWE for years to come. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.